Welcome into another episode of The Player's Perspective Uncensored with Larry O'Bannon. Got a wonderful guest in the building today. Got a person that I actually got a chance to watch when I was coming up as a young kid, man. Got Brewer on the podcast today. Boo, welcome to the podcast, bro.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's good to see you, man. Good talking to you.
Already. One thing we do talk about before we get into basketball, you being from Bardstown, living in the heart of bourbon country. Talk to me about, do you drink bourbon? If not, if you do, what's one that you go to, one that you like? I know you're surrounded by plenty of distilleries. Give me one of your go-tos. Or if
all right, one of my go-tos, man, is this ice water, man. I'm just saying, I don't even drink.
No drink? Oh,
no. I did when I was in college. I did drink in college, and then once I decided that I really wanted to pursue this basketball career and taking the professional route, I stopped drinking. So it's probably, let's see, my son, it was probably 1993, man, is when I stopped drinking. But before that, I just drank like Jim Beam and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Well, we'll skip and hop right on into the basketball side of things then. So coming up as a young player, man, who was somebody that you might have watched or that you wanted to kind of, mimic your game like when you were on the basketball court, or just somebody that you want to just idolize coming up?
Well, with me, being in a small town, mine, it would be my Uncle Warren Downs. And the reason for that is that I used to just walk across the street to our gymnasium, actually where I coach at now, and watch him play and the stuff he did on the court. And I mean, he's probably the best athlete that ever came out of Bardstown by far. And not just me saying that, but a lot of people saying that. But his intensity and he used to dunk the ball. I mean, he used to remind me of Daryl Dawkins. Like, he looked like Daryl Dawkins. I mean, he dunked the ball so hard. and then as always, Gerald Griffin and Derek Smith at the University of Louisville was my favorite. And you being from Louisville and just watching them play and getting hyped, it just, especially with those little short shorts they used to wear.
Right. Now, coming out of Bardstown High School, talk about your recruiting. What made you choose U of L? And if you didn't choose U of L, where do you think you would have went to?
Well, coming out of high school, it was difficult, man, because I had Syracuse, Arizona. UK was in the picture a little bit, but my grandma told me that I couldn't go to UK because she felt some kind of way towards Eddie Sutton. And so then you had Indiana with Bobby Knight. But then with the University of Louisville, me picking that was mainly, with Wade Houston being there, and he recruited me, and how he was. I just enjoyed talking to him and Coach Crum, and it was a family atmosphere. They was very trusting and loyalty, and what they said they meant. And so, and then plus my grandma was a big picture in there, because I could have went and played at football at Florida State and Notre Dame and Oklahoma, but she said that she didn't want me to go far from home. So that was another reason I picked Louisville, and the other reason was that she didn't want to watch me on TV with a helmet on.
Now, do you think you was better at football or basketball?
Football.
Better at football? What position?
I was running back.
Running back. I can see that. I can see that with your stature. Now, if you didn't go to Louisville, where do you think you would end up going?
Well, I was very in love with Western EKU, and it was actually weird because me and Richie Farmer had made a pact that we both was going to go to WKU, and then when Kentucky got in the picture with him, he decided to go to UK, and then I decided to go to U of L.
Right, so you end up playing against each other anyway.
Yes.
So what was it like playing for Coach Crum?
Man, it's I say this, it's like playing for your dad, because what he brought and what he meant to me, his discipline, because I needed discipline as a player. I needed structure. I needed someone to be hard on me, but also loving. And he was very loving. He was honest and stern, he always treated me with respect. And so, and he was, like a father-like coach. And that's kind of how see myself as a coach now. I took bits and pieces from him, and he was really, really, he was hard on me, and I always thought, like, and they always told me, like, if the coach is still on you, then he knows there's more that you give, and he's gonna get that out of you, and he did.
Right. So for some of the young guys that may have not gotten a chance to watch Boo Brewer play, what would you say your game was? Or what would you say when somebody say, man, Boo Brewer's in the gym, what are they going to watch?
Well, they're gonna say I can shoot the three, but my approach on the defensive end was something that I took pride in. I didn't want anyone to score on me, and I was like it in practice, and I was kind of like, I can't tell you how many fights I got in practice with LeBradford, with Keith Legree, just with Cornelius Holden. I was that pit bull. Because when I was on the court, I wanted to be that alpha, and I would do whatever it took to win, and I wanted to make stops and play defense.
In society now with the kids now, seems like when kids hit a little bit of adversity, first thing they want to do is they want to run and try to change environments or change schools or just get to the next, possible situation instead of staying and fighting it adversity. So just give me an example or tell me a story about how you may have overcome some adversity when you was at U of L, because everybody goes through it. I don't care what anybody says, everybody goes through some type of adversity when you're a college athlete.
Yeah, the adversity I went was, and you some people can relate to this, is that coming out of high school, like, me was played at the top level in high school, played against the top players in high school. And so I was the man coming out of high school. And when I got to Louisville, I wasn't the man, because I had Purvis and Kenny Payne and Tony Kimbrough and Felton Spencer and, again, LeBradford Smith, and then Everett Sullivan, Cornelius Holden, Darryl Webb, so it's almost like I was in a big pond, but I was a small fish. And so the adversity that I really had to go through was, like, my playing time was got down. I only played average like 8 minutes a game my freshman year. And I'd actually packed my bags and called my mama Susan to come pick me up. And she's like, "No, you're not going. You're not going anywhere." And then my grandma said, "You are staying there. We don't quit. We don't walk away from nothing. If you want to play, then you know what to do." And I knew then, like, I wasn't going anywhere. And so I had to fight, and not literally fight, but I had to fight, and I had to stay in the gym and work on my craft. And because I wasn't a great ball handler, I was athletic. I could dunk on you, and I could shoot the three, and I could play defense. And so I really had to work hard. And I knew after that, after talking to Coach Crum, it's like he believed in me. And that meant more than anything.
Now, I heard you in a recent meeting talk about you were the enforcer on the team. Now, that caught me by surprise because, Brew, me and you hadn't really had a chance to really, hang around each other all the time because you're in Bardstown, I'm in Louisville. But that kind of took me off guard. Just from a distance, I would have never taken Boo Brewer to be the enforcer. So how did that come about?
I was enforcer. I guess it really came about as, like, I was this, I guess it comes from the football side. I was running back, so I took a lot of hits, and being 6'3", 6'2", I was at 185 in college, and so me and Mike Case was in practice one day, and like, I didn't take nothing from nobody, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody did something to me, and Mike said, "Man, you got to get him," And so, and so he come across the lane, and I just give him a elbow. I just checks him, and so they feel like, man, okay. And so then in the games and stuff, Coach Crum knew that I was hard nosed, and so he would put me in there. He put me on the best player. When we play UNLV, I'm guarding you got Larry Johnson out there, and so Greg Anthony and Anderson. Yes, and I'm like, yeah, Stacey Ogden, by the way, he caught me slipping, dunked on me. So, but anyway, But he says, get out there. And I was like, and I was a freshman. And then Purvis and Kenny Payne was like, we need you, we need you. And so I was a lockdown defender. And I just, from then, I didn't back down for nobody.
I always tell guys, especially when I'm coaching now, I said, man, defense will get you on the court. I said, but offense is going to keep you there. But I said, in order to get there, you have to play defense first, though. I said, once you can play defense, I said, you know, if you can provide some offense, that'll keep you there. I said, because at some point, you're going to have to be able to do something. You can't just be a liability on offense. I said, but to get playing time, you're going to have to be able to get in and play defense and play hard-nosed defense and strap down on somebody.
Oh, that's true, because when I went to Louisville, you know, Coach Kern wasn't about the three-point shot. Wasn't about it. And so only way you get on the court was that defense.
Right.
And so, you know, you had to learn it. And his philosophy, defensive philosophy, is unbelievable. You know, the way he teaches it and this and that, it's still a masterpiece.
Now, I also read in an article about you and Kenny Payne, how you guys sort of developed a special relationship just staying after practice, how you sort of give him credit to you becoming a good three-point shooter. Talk on that a little bit. Just talk about just after practice ritual.
When I first got to U of L, you know, I would, you know how you go to practice and then you just leave. And so Kenny came to me and he's like, listen, I'm taking you underneath my wing, and this is what we're gonna do every single day. And so after practice, we had to make 5 shots at 5 different spots every day. And then we had to do that twice. And so we just kept doing that over and over. And then finally, once we got consistent, well, I got consistent. He was already consistent at it. And then he started doing this drill where you touch the baseline and then you shoot a 3. And you couldn't, if you say you hit 4 out of 10, you had to start over. Only way you can go to the next spot is hit 5 out of 10. Everything has to be 50%. I mean, it was a workout, and we kept doing it over and over. And I actually took that workout and trained my own daughter and my sons, and they hated the drill, but they became good shooters because mentally it prepares you. Like, you know, I used to tell them you can't miss 2 in a row. You know, stuff like that, you know, and so that helped a lot.
Yeah, it gives them some accountability. That running gives you accountability in there too. Oh, yeah. I tell a lot of guys when they come work out with me, I said, we don't shoot just to shoot. We ain't here to get shots up. We making shots. If you don't make shots, you got to be accountable. That running holds you accountable, and you determine how much you run, not nobody else.
Yep.
So once you left U of L, you played overseas for 12 years. Where were some of the places you played in, and what was your favorite place to play?
Man. Listen, so my very first job was in Ankara, Turkey. And I mean, now money was good. I ain't gonna lie about that. But the living life was awful. Basketball-wise, it was great. After basketball, I was like, man, I was sick. You know, I'm that far away from home. I used to have to walk, and I just had my first child. My second child, Jordan, and my wife was still here, and so I used to have to walk 3 miles just to a payphone with coins to make a call. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah, boy, I can't imagine. You know, I played 15 years, boo, and like I can't imagine like no internet and
no. That's when, you know, it wasn't no internet. You know,
right.
I think MySpace was coming out then.
Golly, boy, that's tough.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and so, and then she finally came over there, and then they asked to stay like three months, and she didn't like it, so she came back home. It was probably good that she came back home because it was bad. I mean, but you know, my favorite place was Italy, and I was 9 years in Italy. And so that and Switzerland are probably my 2 favorite. I got to play in the Euro League for 4 years, and so that itself was a great experience, you know. So when I went, I was playing against, you know, David Rivers, and Dominique Wilkins was in Greece. They was in Panathinaikos, and so I was playing against them, and I'm sitting there like, this is crazy, you know, because I watched them in the NBA, and I'm like going. And then on my team was my Ginobili was on my team. He was a young 17-year-old.
You played in Bologna?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So young. I mean, and so it was great.
Now, which Bologna did you play for? You played for Virtus?
No, mine was Kinder Bologna.
Kinder Bologna, okay.
It's the same thing, Virtus.
Virtus,
they
okay.
changed the name.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
Kinder was that
big sponsor, the
yep,
candy bar.
Chocolate.
Yeah, the candy bar. Nice. Yeah, Italy was one of my favorites too, man. I played in Udine. I played down in Naples. Got a chance to play in the EuroLeague down in Naples, man. It was really, really nice, man.
I played in Avellino, Reggio Calabria, Forlì, Fabiano. I mean, it was good.
Sweet, man. You still know any of the language?
Man, every once in a while, man. We have 2 Italian girls at our school, and I come sta, stuff like that. Ciao, bello,
Right.
But I, it's weird, and you've been there. Like the food was phenomenal. I miss it.
Mm-hmm. I remember the first thing I asked for was chicken Alfredo. They said, that's not a real Italian dish. Chicken Alfredo is not. I was like, oh, like we'll give you some penne di pollo. They knew what I meant though, but
penne di pollo or carbonara.
Like chicken Alfredo is not it's an American dish. It's not a real Italian dish. I was like, wow. So they kind of opened my eyes up to like, okay, well, let me see what we got going on here, man. Yeah. What made you get into coaching once you finished playing? What made you want to become a coach?
Well, my family traveled with me in different places, and I got to pursue my dream and do what I wanted to love. And so when I came back, I really wanted to give back to my kids, because I missed out on a lot of things that by playing professional basketball. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to it was mainly give back to my own kids, coach them. And then once I got to doing that, the feeling, the enjoyment of watching them succeed, be successful on the court, I wanted to help others. And that's probably my why I coach now is to give back and help others and try to pave a way and just plant a seed in each kid as much as possible.
What would you say the biggest difference between playing and coaching?
Playing is when I got on that court, I knew what I had to do, and I could take care of it. And by being a coach, when you coaching, and you can design a play and they don't run it right, or they're not doing your game plan, which I had this year. You can get a game plan, everything, scouting report, and they forget stuff. Right. But I knew, like, I took that with pride when I played, to know that whoever I'm guarding, I knew their weakness, I knew their strength. It's hard. I'm gonna say it now, but I even knew like who their brothers and sisters was. Or you go to Memphis, they was calling out you, everything. They knew who your mom was, if they was divorced or not. They knew it. Right. And I was like, that's weird, because so when I was guarding somebody, it's like, okay, I could say a little slight comment to him. How's George doing today? And he looked at me like, how you know that? Stuff like that.
Little slight things to knock them off their game. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Any advantage you can get. So right now, both of us being alma maters at the University of Louisville, sort of in a turmoil state right now. What are your thoughts just on the university, where it's at, where you think it needs to head? Just your overall thoughts on the university as a whole right now.
I have this year, I have a big investment in this, not just because I played there, but I have JJ Trainer, who I coached in high school, like a son to me, and then Mason Faulkner, who's actually wearing number 11. He's the father of my granddaughter,
Oh, wow. Nice.
who actually turned 1 today. So that's that's a blessing. But I just felt like, and this is my honest opinion, I felt like once we and I say we, U of L, we took the leader out. I thought it hurt us, hurt the players, because they've been with this with Coach Mack, and so then it was a change, and so we got to adjust. and now you have Coach P who took over, and so I just think that the player wise that we just lost our ways, and we lost our ways in different things. I guess our identity. That's what I want to say, and I feel like last night we won that game, and the last couple of games these guys have been playing hard. If you take away the Syracuse game, they've been playing really hard, and I feel like we need a change. We need a change, and I think that the fans are wanting something, and we're not giving it to them. And this. It's Louisville basketball is big in Louisville, and
protein.
Yes, exactly. We have the best facilities. They have the best of everything, and so I really it hurt, because we're going on a losing streak or everything that's going on, and we've got this black cloud over us, and I wish we just get rid of this black cloud and move on, move forward, and I'm gonna say it, let's get Kenny Payne in there. I'm gonna say it. I think that's who we need. I know a lot of people have questioned his coaching because he never had been a head coach, but they don't know this man how hard he works. He's going to outwork anybody and out recruit anybody, and I think it's going to be good for us if we can get him in there.
So before you even get to a head coach, what do you think, or do you have any thoughts about the AD position? What do you think about that?
I don't know Josh personally, and be honest with you, it's sad because I don't know, Tyler he didn't really relate to us either, and so I just think that we need some stability. We really do, and some loyalty, and to get some people in there that's for the program. That's going to be 100% for the program, and that's how I see it.
I agree, man. I think that you want to get some people who have, Cardinal blood going in them. People that's going to take pride in the university, that's going to look out for the university no matter what.
Yes.
I think Kenny Payne is a great hire. Like I say, he's been the top assistant in the NCAA for the last 10 to 12 years as far as recruiting players. And I don't care what type of coach you are, man. If you don't have no players, you can only coach so much. You got to get players, to really be able to compete. You take John Calipari, Mark Few, Jay Wright. You can take all these top name coaches, but if they don't have no players, man, you can only get so far, man. Coaches only gonna get you so far, man. So
and it's something we should be having good play, and I'm not knocking the players we have now, because I think what we have now, the nucleus we have now, we can make a run in the ACC tournament.
Mm-hmm.
We really can. And to be honest, I think they can win it. They're gonna have to come together, and you can see, yesterday they played well together. He played a lot of guys yesterday. But there's a lot of energy. It's more energy in there than it's been, and I'm loving it.
It is. The guys, seem like they really play hard for Coach P.P.U, and I think, man, with the lineups and the style of play that we've had, I think it's just been tough just because so much has gone on. I think there's trust issues among everybody. I think it's even seeped into the team. And so, you kind of see it when guys play. And, you look at the shot selection, sometimes it may not be the best at times. And I think that just comes from just lack of trust and camaraderie. And like I said, and that all starts from just the black cloud and the turmoil that's been surrounded by the university. I mean, these guys are on social media, they hear things, read things, the same way that everybody else does. And so I think that sort of outside influences start to seep in, and I think it sort of makes its way on the basketball court, and it makes it tough on the coaches too, because you're fighting the battle with them, and then you're fighting the battle with outside influences as well.
Oh yeah, and that's where, I always tell my guys, and as a coach, like, you got to be a fist, as a team, and everybody else, they're gonna have their say so, but they can't get in this fist. And I think that's what we need to close it and just be at fist and just come together and just have more consistency. And I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. And Kenny, man, like you said, he's been under some Hall of Fame coaches. He's under Coach Thibodeau now up in New York. So he's got a ton of coaching knowledge and experience. But who knows? Kenny may want to stay in the NBA.
That's true.
Because, coaching the NBA and coaching college, two different things. You come to college, you got to recruit, coach, game plan, meet with boosters. It's a 12, 14-hour day.
It is.
Coaching in the NBA, you coach 2 hours, then you're going on about your day. And so let's say KP's like, I may want to stick and try to get a head coaching job. Who do you think the next option would be, would you say? Or have you even thought that far?
I haven't even thought that far, man, because I'm loyal to Kenny Payne, and I'm like sticking to Kenny Payne.
Whether he wants to come or not, we want you to get it.
Yeah, right. I called him. I guess it was last week. I called him. I said, man, you need to come home. He started laughing. I said, I ain't talking about Mississippi either. I said,
now we've reached the part of the podcast, man, we call our rapid fire questions. We're just gonna shoot you some quick questions. Don't give it a lot of thought. Just give us your first answer. We're gonna roll with it.
All right.
Your favorite movie?
Life.
I'm right there with you. Best steakhouse you've ever eaten at?
Jeff Ruby's.
That's a common theme. Toughest player you ever had to guard? Professional, college, anywhere?
Kenny Payne. Kenny Anderson.
Yeah, that's tough. Most clutch 3-point shooter of all time?
James Brewer.
If you take James Brewer out of it, who's the next one?
Ray Allen.
Yeah, that's. I can't argue that, man. That's my all-time favorite player coming up.
That
was my all-time favorite player, man. But
him and Kevin Garnett, I'm telling you,
I'm probably gonna say Bird, man. If I need a 3, I gotta go Bird. Bird. I gotta go Bird, man. Just something about Larry Bird. Man, I just love Larry Bird coming up, man. It just seemed like if Bird got it off, man, it was going in. Same with Ray too, though. You can say the same with Ray too, man, but Bird, that's probably who I would say.
Okay.
1-on-1 at the end of practice. Sully, D-Webb, Mike Case, Cornelius Holden, and James Brewer. Who's winning the 1-on-1?
Ooh, you're going to cause a fight between all of us.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's why I threw it on here.
You just started something because I know,
You're going to get a call after this podcast going on.
I know it's coming. I'm just telling you. And I'm telling you, it's going to be me. I'm going to say me.
What you supposed to say?
Yeah, I'm going to say me. I mean, like Everett and Corn, they taller. I mean, they all taller than me. But like me and Durham like bulldogs, but I'll foul them hard or something, just make them mad,
Last question before we let you get out of here. The one thing you always preach to your kids about life as it pertains to basketball?
One thing is that I'll say is that God has blessed you with a gift, and he wants us to use it. And so it'd be like, do all things through Christ. You can do whatever you put your mind to.
Man, couldn't think of a better way to close out the podcast, my brother. Man, really appreciate you taking that time, man, to come through and talk to us on the podcast. I know you got to run, man. You got to get ready for playoff time coming up this week, but just wanted to say thank you, man. Really appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
All right, man. Anytime, man. Thank you, man.
No